Welcome back, my fellow below average bloggers or above average bloggers, depending on where you're at in your journey. This is Mike, and today I am here to share with you my results from ordering content from Content Warrior. Content Warrior is the content agency created by the guys over at Income School. They've been pumping out content lately. I received an email that they had some openings for more content orders, so I decided I would make an order just to kind of see and test it and see how it goes. And I figured I'd share those results with you guys. I have to apologize in advance. I'm definitely under the weather today. My whole family got something. It has not been fun, but pulling through, and I figured if I'm going to sit around all day, I might as well at least crank out a video. So I'm going to talk about the good. I'm going to talk about the bad, because there's a little bit. And then I'm going to talk about the absolute best part of it all. And it's a fairly big one and probably the most important, to be honest. So stick around to the end when we hit that, and let's jump into it. All right. Content Warrior was a content agency made by Income School. And if you're in the blogging space, you most likely are aware of Income School. If not, I'll link them above. Here's what this video is not going to be. This is not going to be a hit piece on Income School. This is not going to be trashing their service. It's going to be an absolutely fair and honest review that talks about the good, talks about the bad, and talks about ultimately the final result, which is the most important part. So we'll just go ahead and start with what it's advertised as. So if you go to contentwarrior.com, you'll see that they offer services that are, in their words, simply good content published on your site. More on that later. Stock images included. More on that later. And a guaranteed 10 business days or a refund, which is pretty good. So the order process is fairly straightforward. It's on a single landing page. However, there's a detailed instruction section where you need to give quite a bit of info. You need to create a Google Sheets document where your subject will be, along where you can add any other research you want included in the article, which is fair. However, when you pay the price you're paying for this content, I want them to do most of the research. Now, sure, if there's some subheadings I need included in there or some extra keywords or some citations, I can always throw them those things. But at the end of the day, the more I'm doing when I make an order, so like doing research myself, linking it, sending it to them before they write the article, the more I'm doing, well, then it's the more I should have just wrote this myself, because I'm spending time basically putting time into this order. Now, is it fair for them to ask for research? Yes, but they put a caveat on the order form that says, one of the questions on the order form says, did you add original research requests for each post? If not, please do so. As the site owner, you have a much better idea of what original research would enhance the post. Customers who add research requests are much happier with their articles, which leaves me to believe that when it's left up to them, customers may not be as happy. I don't know. I did provide them one link to a product that this was about. But again, the more I provide, the more I should just do it myself. On the flip side of that, I understand their position, because if I don't provide them with certain things that I expect to be in the article, then I can't get mad at them if it's not in there. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, and I'm not going to fault them on that at all. One thing I didn't like so much about the order process was they ask for your login URL for the WordPress dashboard. Now, before you say anything, that's not new or concerning at all. That's most content agencies that are going to upload for you will ask for login credentials, and it's no problem. You can go in there and make them an account as a contributor or an editor or an author and let them do it. My problem with this was it said it was mandatory, and it says make up any email and secure password. Well, I don't want to make up fake emails that could potentially belong to someone else. I just feel like maybe they should make an email account to handle these things, or not provide the publishing services, because it feels a little to be making up fake emails and passwords for them to log in. Just have, contentpublisher@gmail.com or contentwarpublishing@gmail.com, and make that just your throwaway email that you can let people do this with all the time. I didn't feel like making up fake email addresses, so what I did is I put in that box, don't publish, just send to me via email. That way I could publish it myself. I don't have to make a fake email address, potentially spam somebody else, and move on. All right, so what I paid for was I paid for one staple post, because I wanted to try the service and see what it was about. Now, a staple post, in Income School's own words, is usually 2,000 to 2,500 words. So I ordered a staple post, and it cost $155. So I sent the delivery in, I sent the order in, and I waited. So this was on May 4th that I placed this order. And by May 17th, I emailed them and said, hey, I haven't heard anything, just checking on the status of the order. which was technically 9 business days. So they were within their 10 business day window. So no fault to them at all. On a perk, they emailed me that same day and said that, hey, we got your email. Your article's done. Here's a link to it. Thanks. All right. So the results, what really matters when you buy content, all these little things that I'm complaining about don't really matter too much. What matters is the quality of the article you get back. That's the most important part. So what I got back was an article that did contain a few images. Like they said, they provide stock images. It was 2,090 words. So on a scale of 2,000 words to 2,500 words, it was definitely on the bottom end of that. But that falls within the range of a staple post. So again, no fault to them. And now if you take 2,090 words and you figure out that word count, that price per word at $155, it comes out to about 0.074 cents a word. So roughly 7.5 cents a word I paid for that. Now, when you look at content services, 7.5 cents a word, you can get some pretty good content at most agencies in the 6 cents, 5 cents area. Now, if you're getting something technical or very, industry specific where you need technical writers and industry professionals, sure, you're going to pay 10 cents or more per word. But for what I sent them, it was a very standard blog post, didn't require expertise or technical knowledge, and so I still paid 7.5 cents for the article per word. I think it's a little on the steep side, but again, we'll get to the final result in a second. That kind of will clarify if that was worth it or not. In the post itself, so first off, the stock images. So the stock images are very typical stock images that you could grab yourself on Pixels, Pixabay, or Pexels, Pixabay, Unsplash. There's lots of places you can grab those same type of images. There was nothing very unique or interesting about the images. They were just standard stock images that I could have grabbed for free anywhere else. So there was one error right in the very beginning, which is not a place I would like a word error. It said this company is making a grand comeback. And then they said a grand comeback with this grand new XYZ product. Not brand new, they used grand new. So what I think is they just were on autopilot, they hit spell check, and it either auto-corrected to that or they misspelled it as grand instead of brand, and so it didn't come up on spell check. But because it's the very first little teaser paragraph, that's something that's going to get skimmed quickly by almost every reader, and when you have a blatant grammatical error right in the very first paragraph, it's not going to speak well of your whole post. So if you do end up ordering, just like any other service, not just specific to Content Warrior, it's something you want to go through line by line and make sure it reads appropriately. Now, I will say, the rest of the article was great. The content was good. The areas discussed were good. There was no other grammatical errors, no other misspellings, so I will just chalk that up to a one-off. And as the site owner, it's my responsibility to check these things. So again, no fault to them, but if they hire editors or final QA people, then those are people that hopefully are going to be picking those things up moving forward. Now, they advertise they're not going to be fluffing your articles with, and if you've bought content, people like to add a bunch of filler content, words, things that don't contribute to the article because they're trying to meet a word count. Now, in this one, they say they don't do that. I did have a small paragraph, about 150 words, that was just about, mind you, this is a staple post about a new product launch. They included probably 150 words on teaching your kids not to get next to this grill because it's hot. Is that necessary? No. Does it hurt the article? No. But is it 150 words of fluff? Kinda it is. So I'll say it's a bit of a fluff, but let's get into what matters the most. The results. I published this article. I forced indexed it into Google immediately like I do all new articles. I don't even know if that's necessary. I just do it out of habit. But within 4 hours, it was ranking number 4 on page 1. And that was right below Walmart, Amazon, and the company itself, their actual brand company website. So I was the very first organic blog website ranking for that term. And it's a term with good search volume. And I'm a low DA site, so the results kind of speak for themselves on that. Now, it's been published for 5 days now, and it hasn't moved. It's already bringing in traffic, it's already bringing in income, it's already bringing in, money. So at the end of the day, I can say and complain about every little thing along the way and nitpick their service, but every service has problems. If you used iWriter, you probably got a bunch of crap. Fiverr, a bunch of crap. I think as they grow, they're going to tighten these little loose areas up that I found problems with, and I think overall they did an excellent job. Now, is 7.5 cents a word something I'll continue to pay? No, because even Jim and Ricky themselves will tell you in previous videos when they were up-and-coming bloggers or up-and-coming business owners, whatever you want to call it, they were paying around 3, 4, 5 cents a word per their own videos. So 7.5 cents a word is pretty steep. There's probably a decent profit margin in there for them. But at the end of the day, they understood search intent. They wrote a good article. and it's ranking number 4 on page 1 as the first organic result outside of manufacturers and, you know, Amazon and Walmart. So take everything I said with a grain of salt, and remember that the article itself ranked, and it did well, and it's staying in that spot as of now. So will I use Content Warrior again? Maybe. You know, maybe if I've got something technical or I want to pay for a little higher price per word, you know, article, and I'll provide more research so it makes it easier. But for common response posts and things that are maybe not as important, I don't know that I will use them. Overall, good experience, good article, and it's ranking the way it should be. So there you go, guys. I just want to share that with you. And if you're thinking about using Content Warrior, maybe this will give you an inside view as to what you should expect. Or maybe my experience was just a one-off. Who knows? So hopefully this was helpful. You guys take care, and we'll see you soon.